Thanks, sir.
How's your weekend?
It has been good. We are still inside. Yeah.
I see you are responding to some calls and all that.
Oh, I be
some chats and a lot of.
The
ladies are also watching you. You know.
Yeah, all the friends, my ladies, they are all watching.
Those we met when we were coming.
Yeah, new friends. I mean, making new friends is always good.
Okay. It's because you were driving, that's why,
Don't forget about the driving.
Okay. Yeah, Morat, yen set time be break. We'll come to the Black Stars proper, but let's look at Tunisia. Let's look at Ghana. We'll come to it, but let's look at Tunisia and then Cameroon. They exited alongside Ghana, but we're going to dedicate our show for the Black Stars. Stars. But let's look at the African participants aside Black Stars. It's like we are not making any headways at the World Cup.
Well, I think off air we were talking about some the African performance and how they've been poor when it comes to the World Cup stages. And I mean, it's obvious, and we've seen it everywhere. Now, when it comes to football, you know that Africans, we are lacking a lot of stuff. Earlier I was saying something when we were talking about football, that now football has actually changed from talent. When you're talking about talent, yes, we know Africans have a lot of talent. We know that we have a lot of many people in Africa who has that talent or who have the talent to play football. But the issue has got to do with, in this modern world, in this modern Ghana now, football has actually changed, or in this modern era of football, it has changed from the talent aspect to science. Now, people are teaching others how to play football. We are teaching how to make movement on the ball. We are even teaching you how to shoot when you have the ball. And you are teaching you how to make a move when you are not on the ball. So these are things that are happening in the world of football that I think we Africans are lacking a lot. I mean, I think some few countries have taken the opportunity and the advantage of all those kind of things, But when it comes down to West Africa and other African countries, I think we have a long way to go. So seeing, African countries moving out of from the group stages of the World Cup, I am not really surprised. But I'm kind of happy to see Morocco topping their group in the World Cup. And then Tunisia, they are one of the good teams that we have in Africa. But I don't know what actually happened to them. Most of their games, you know that they always want to sit deep and then catch you on the break. That's the counter attack. But I think it didn't really work well for them. Looking at Ghana, although we come to that, but you also didn't perform well. Cameroon actually left on a happy note by beating Brazil because no African country has actually scored by Brazil in the World Cup. They've never been defeated before.
And talking about Cameroon, much was expected from them because first African since 2002, they were the only African side to reach quarterfinal.
Yeah, a lot to be expected, but be in a group where you have a lot of big teams playing against Brazil and others. You would have a lot of work to do. They played against Serbia, it ended 3-3. And in fact, they were 3-1 down, and then Abubakar came in. The guy has been exceptional. In fact, if the guy is around 23, I'm sure that by now there will be a lot of European teams going in for him, because just that he's now 30 years here. He's 30 years and he gave that kind of class. He gave this kind of, high profile, high level football. And I think I'm happy for him. He scored against Brazil. That's the one goal. And he got a red card. And I'm happy for him to, set such a record for the Cameroonian team. But yet, we still have a lot of work to do when it comes to Africa and when it comes to football. We have a long way to go.
But Africa is blessed with a lot of talents. That's the issue we are talking about. So is it about the leadership or the choice of coaches we have? You talk about Harry Renard. He's not an African, right?
Yeah, he's not an African. He's a French.
Good. But he came, he led the Zambians and also led the Moroccans to the African Championship. I'm talking about the AFCON. He won with them. He went to Saudi Arabia and he's doing fantastic with them. So what is it? Is it about the decision to choose who the right person is?
It's about our leadership, number one. Where there's no vision, there people perish. So this is very important. If you have a leader and then most of all your leader doesn't have any vision for the disciples, then we don't know where you guys are going. It's just like you are just walking around. You don't have any aim. You don't have any vision. So I think our leadership, number one, infrastructure, number two, the quality of coaches that we have in Africa is also a major factor. we have few coaches who are like, we can mention names as, okay, these coaches are doing their best, but I think the rest should learn. See, we have a long way to go. We've seen few like Mosipe is a very good coach for Ali, former coach for Ali, a very good coach. There are few that we can talk about. I mean, the stage is big. We have to go out and learn more, equip ourselves with the knowledge of football, tactically, I mean, technically. We have to, I mean, know all this kind of stuff on the pitch and off the pitch, player management, all these kind of things. And most of our leaders are greedy. They are selfish. They want everything to themselves, especially when it comes to West Africa. It has been happening. It has been happening everywhere. But I mean, we have a long way to go. I always say we have a long way to go.
Right.
There's a lot to learn on this continent.
Right. So we wish Africa will one day, I mean, win the World Cup. As we're talking right now, Senegal are also down by 2-0 to England. So it looks like Senegal will also be joining Ghana, Tunisia, and then Cameroon.
Yeah.
And then we'll be left with only Morocco. Morocco will also be playing against Spain, who have never also lost to any African side.
You see, with Morocco and Spain, I have high hopes that Morocco can actually do something because of how Spain is playing. In fact, I watched Spain and then Japan game, and I was like, no, to beat Spain is just very simple.
Japan won, right?
Yeah, Japan won 2-1. And I liked how the coach reacted to the Spanish team. I mean, the coach of Moriyasu, that is the Japanese coach. Like, he was so exceptional. Like in the very first half. So if the Cameroonians are listening, this is a way to beat the Spanish team. Yes. You know, the Spanish team is a team who would like to play that kind of tiki-taka.
Morocco rather.
Yeah, if the Moroccans are listening, they can beat
and
the
I know Morocco. My boss is watching, and he's a Moroccan, so he will expect more from them.
So it's very simple to beat the Spanish team. Here's the thing. Against Japanese or against Japan, Spain against Japan, all what the coach of the Japanese did was to sit deep at their half with a 5-4-1 formation. That is the system he played. And then we know that no matter what, you are going to see the Spanish team coming up high. They will play the high line for you. They will try to push their left and right laterals forward, try to pass the balls around here and there. But one thing I realized about the Japanese team was that they were very organized and very disciplined. And whenever they lose the ball, they don't go for the ball because they've lost it. They don't chase the ball, but
rather organize.
The first point of call is that they go back to their defensive line
to
organize themselves, and then wait for you to bring the ball and get the ball back again.
And Spain is a country or a team who love to possess a lot.
They love to possess a lot. So this is what the coach did. In the whole of the first half, Japan was not playing anything. They were just preventing those kind of pocket spaces for the Spanish team to go ahead and score. But the goal that came for the Spanish team, was as a result of Aspilicueta and Morata clicking together. And these are two players who didn't play for Barcelona. They didn't have that kind of tiki-taka game. A typical Spanish player wouldn't have crossed that ball from Aspilicueta.
He would have passed the ball.
Would have passed the ball. But Aspilicueta plays for Chelsea. He's not having that kind of tiki-taka vibes.
Luis Enrique himself is not too much or like 100% tiki-taka kind of a coach.
From Spain?
He would love to blend some tiki-taka and then that of long passes altogether. With his time with Barcelona.
Good. So if you watch the Spanish team, there was no cross for the Spanish team into the box of the Japanese. It was the only cross in the game that I saw was from the Aspilicueta to Morata. The only advantage that the Spanish team had over Japanese was their height. Morata was higher than the rest of the defense of the Japanese.
He got height.
So he used that one to bully them and got the goal. And apart from that, the mistake I think the Spanish team did was to take off Morata and Aspilicueta.
Right. I'm enjoying this little bit on Japan.
Let me just end it on this one.
Okay.
How they got to score the goal was the first half. I told you they were just playing defensive. Second half, when they came in the second half, they made two changes. They brought in Morita also and then Duon. And these are typical wingers, traditional wingers. They go wide. And if you check the two goals of the Japanese, it came through the wide spaces. Because the left and the right of the Spanish team were always high. 46 minutes, they got their first goal. 48 minutes, they got the second goal. And then they went back to protect their line. They are done.
Great. Right, so this is Sports Jet on Sports Jet Online on Facebook. My name is Brighty Jr. we are having our share aftermath of the Black Stars elimination of the World Cup, but it's still, the tournament is ongoing in Qatar. We're bringing you updates on that. Now, let's look at this one. Let's come home, right, and talk about what really went wrong with the Black Stars. I know when we share our views, they will listen, they will hear, but for them to take is another whole thing. Ghana, in the last 3 major tournaments, we've been just abysmal, nothing. It's really, really unacceptable. Judging from the Egypt 2019 AFCON, only round of 16, and then AFCON 2021, just in January this year in Cameroon, group stage. We could not even win a game in that particular tournament. We came with a -1 goal, remember, with 0 points. And then just this Friday in Qatar, we were eliminated from the World Cup. What is really wrong with us? But before you take it, the Black Stars and then the FIFA World Cup.
Well, we have been, I mean, the Black Stars has, I won't say we are not having the materials, as people say, okay, we are going to the World Cup, so we don't have the quality players as compared to other teams, and then blah, 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 blah. But here's the thing, with the Black Stars, that we have all the qualities that we need. We have young, pacey players. The quality, we have them. Now, let's look at this. I'll make a very big comparison here. Spain and the Black Stars. Now, let's look at the Spanish team. How can you compare Pedri, Gavi to Thomas Partey and Salis?
To maybe Kudus.
And to Kudus. Talk about the attacks. We have Morata. Compare Morata to Inaki Williams.
I'm coming. Spiker is really calling through. I don't know, but Spiker, you can give us a message. You can give us a message right now.
It's all another video, Spiker. So you see, Spain, we can say that Spain is not even having the quality, because Gavi, Pedri, they are young boys. Where's the quality? They are now coming. They are up and coming. Although they are making waves, they've won an award, yes, but they are still young. Looking at our midfield, because I'm midfielder, so I'll use the midfielders.
Yes.
The only experienced player in the midfield of the Spanish team is Sergio Busquets. And this man is 34 years.
Who has played major tournaments upon major tournaments.
Good. He's 34 years, so he's the experienced person we have in their midfield. Fine. What about the other players? See, how do you call it? Bade start for the Spanish team. Can you compare Bade to our own players, Tariq Lamptey?
No,
he's ahead of Bade.
Yes,
can you compare to Babaraman has been playing, although Babaraman has his own sluggish side, but we have Gideon Mensah. Can you compare the likes of Gideon Mensah or how do you call it, Bade?
So in this case, what is the issue with us? If we get the talent, if we've got the quality,
the issue has got to do with leaders and coaches.
Okay.
Our main problem for the Ghana Black Stars is leadership and then coaches. That's
okay.
The problem for the
now let me run you through this. CK Akono started part of the qualifiers, right? We sacked him along the line because Ghanaians thought that his play wasn't flamboyant enough, his play wasn't encouraging, and then we brought in Coach Milovan Rajava for his second spell, only to be sacked and told Ghanaians that he wasn't given the mandate to qualify to win AFCON with Ghana. Now we brought in Coach OTTO. Good. As we're talking about the leadership, that's why I'm asking you this. So you sack CK, you brought in Milo, you sack Milo, you brought in Coach OTTO. I mean, it has been 3 attempts consecutively. Did we really think about the fact that these coaches are not there for we to win something on the field?
After Kwesi Appiah, we came to CK Akono.
Good.
After CK Akono, what I saw was that people were retrogressing.
Okay.
Because how do you sack Kwesi Appiah and bring in a coach who has sat home for almost like 2 years?
Jobless.
In the person of Milovan.
And now, they came to say that is not Matra Makwe.
Fine. If it's not Matra Makwe, we know Milovan to be a coach. Fine. He's a coach. Yeah. We know he's a coach. Now, how do you pass a coach and go for a scout as a coach? That means we are retrogressing. I don't have any problem with OTTO coming to take the Black Stars, because me personally, if I were to be OTTO, I will come for it. So far as you said you need me, it's about money, it's about work. I didn't come and cry my eyes out for it. Now let me read this statement from OTTO. This was a statement from OTTO, and I want us to listen to this. Now he said,
I don't know if production can project this one onto the screen.
I'll read it. I'll just read it. People should hear. People should just listen to us about OTTO. Now listen. It says that the decision. This is OTTO speaking. Okay, this was an interview that was, asked, and then OTTO was talking in this interview. All right. So this is the whole thing. Now, he said, the decision is not only in my hands. Listen, this was when the Black Stars were opting for OTTO to be the coach for the Black Stars. Okay. So this is what OTTO said. The decision is not only in my hands. Before I even started working with the GFA, everybody knew, including me, including you, including those watching us. Everybody knew, including Spiker. Everybody knew I had a contract with Dortmund. So he was under contract with Dortmund. Now he goes in and said, and to even come here was very difficult. And the GFA puts a lot of effort to get me released. What's he talking about here?
So it means that originally and then personally, he wasn't willing to come and take the
job. He
job.
was not willing. He was somewhere.
Even if he was willing, he wasn't ready for the tax.
Good, because according to him, he said the GFA put in a lot of effort. So that means you told him, and he himself wished he could have come to, coach the Black Stars. But the issue is, I am under contract. I am under contract. So far as I am under contract, I can't come and I can't leave that work and come and attend to your work. You get it? So the issue here is, I can't come. But here's the case, it was the GFA who there at the president of the GFA who knows that this man is under contract, still pushed for OTTO. Was he the only coach left in the world to be appointed? And whilst we have Chris Hughton.
Good. And around that time, we had Chris Hughton unattached. We had Heavy Renard now handling the Saudi Arabians. He was also unattached. You see, but we decided to go for OTTO.
For Heavy Renard, they might come out and they may say, or they could say that, okay, we were not having the money to pay him. Fine. What of Chris Hughton? This man is a Ghanaian. He was ready for the work. Is it about money? He can choose to reduce it. Because when a white sacrifices himself for work, it's about the work, it's not about the money. But when it's come to us, we know that it's about the money.
But see, we still got the opportunity to make him the head coach. So
yes,
why didn't he?
It's because the GFA preferred someone they can.
So it means that is the expectation, and that is how far he can go with us.
So it wasn't how far he could. He can go with us. He could have gone with us in the World Cup. See, remember in our previous, shows, I have always said that we have the materials, we have the players. Now, if you compare our players to, wasn't it the same QuarterFinal who came out telling us that our players, we can compare our players with any other team in the world? Wasn't he the person?
He was the same man.
And later he contradicted us and telling us that we don't have Messi and Ronaldo in our team.
That was after the Cameroon fiasco. Okay.
You know,
after the Cameroon fiasco.
Now you are telling that we don't have the Messi and the Ronaldo, but you are telling that our team can be compared to any other team. A team who has Argentina, who has a Messi, you can compare your team to that team.
You see, but Morat, look at this. You look at the run-off or the playoff between Ghana and Nigeria. It's a game Ghana never won. Both legs ended in a drawn game, right? Great. So we based on that to pick OTTO to lead the team to the Mundial, and then we exited at the group stage right on the dot.
Good.
So in I don't understand, how can we base on just one game?
Here's the thing. Now, you see, sometimes when you face challenges and then you win, you are able to triumph over the challenge, you forget all those kind of errors that you made. You get it. So you don't think about them. All you know is that, let me celebrate.
So we're just compromising.
We were just celebrating, everybody, the mind of
forgetting about the good.
Yes, so we still asked questions when we appointed him for the World Cup. don't forget, a lot of media men were, or a lot of sports personalities were talking about why should we even appoint a coach like OTTO, who is a scout, to take us to the World Cup? Because in the World Cup, you are meeting coaches like the what are some of the things we play?
We're talking about Santos, serious coaches.
We are talking about Santos in Portugal.
Tite.
We are talking about Tite in Brazil. We are talking about Deschamps in
France.
France. We are talking about the likes of Martinez for Belgium. We are talking about, these are serious coaches that we are going to face. How can a trainer,
Southgate, and then those
compete with such people? What is your experience when it comes to this?
So
and that is what
so it means this is where we have to put the blame right at the source, at the GFA, right? Because listen, I'll come to the group itself, but this was the time after Ghana drew 1-1 with Nigeria in the second leg in Lagos. This was the time the president of the nation himself picked a phone and called OTTO. OTTO, you've done very well. I believe, I trust in you. But it was a game the man didn't win.
But here's the thing. That's why I said, any journey there, because you are going to the World Cup.
So we forgot to address the real issues.
And here's the thing, that against Brazil, we all knew that Brazil were favorites. We all knew it. Just that it didn't also work out well. And they had a problem with their coach, because their coach is one way. Nesania one way, and fire no. There's no way. There's nothing you can do. But let's ask ourselves this question: when OTTO came for the Black Stars, how many? He has played almost like 8 games, including the World Cup. Now let's go back against Nigeria first leg in Ghana.
First and second.
It was 0-0. When we went to Nigeria, it was 1-1.
Good.
He never won a game there.
He never won.
Good. It was the away rule which helped us. If those kind of away rule would have, it has been taken off like how they've taken it off from the Champions League. Okay, But here's the case. That one was that way. Goal.
So we went to the World Cup on this ticket of away.
So we went this one. We got this draw, 2 draws, and we were okay. We went to the 4-man tournament against Japan. Japan beat us, and from the Japan game, we saw that we had a defensive problem. From the Japan game, we had a very big defensive problem. We didn't address it. That is where the thing started from. Because again, against Nigeria, we thought we defended well. Against, the 2 legs, we thought we defended well.
But I think as time went on, we brought in Salisu.
Good. In the Japan game, we didn't win, we lost. So that is the 3rd game. We played against Chile, and we won on penalties. Good. After that, we played the Brazil game. And the Brazil game was when I saw that Salisu brought a lot of stability.
So this was the friendly.
The friendly.
Before we played Switzerland.
Before we played the Switzerland. Okay. So against Brazil, we lost. So don't forget, we've only won against Chile with 5 games. And the Chile game was on penalties.
And then Switzerland.
It was a drawn game. And we went ahead to play against Switzerland. And we got a win. And what marveled a lot of Ghanaians when we played against Switzerland was how we were able to beat them, how we were able to play. And if you watch the squad very well, we were not having a certain player or our captain of the side. DEDE Ayew in the team. We were not having Giorgian Ayew in the team. The players played well, and that gave us hopes. It gave us a lot of hope going to the World Cup, because if we can play like this, then why can't we play at the highest level? We played well. Switzerland is a team who can cause an upset. They
were World Cup participants.
Participants in 2018. Was it? They scored
in
one
this
team.
Particular World Cup. They were there.
They were there.
Yes,
they were there. So, these things were happening. And if you look at the players who played against Switzerland, none of them, most of them didn't start for us when we were playing in the World Cup. So, at the way now about now we go to the World Cup proper and we won only 1 game. And still our defense was a problem. And OTTO as a coach, this is why I say we don't learn as Africans. Nobody should come and tell us that, oh, we are going to learn. We've never learned from any of our mistakes as a football nation. We've never learned. Because number 1, against Japan, we had a defensive problem. We didn't solve it. Against Portugal in the first game, when we were going to play against South Korea, they came out, the coach came out, or I think either Song or the coach came out to say that we have a defensive problem. So they were going to use that defensive problem against us, because when we played against Portugal, they saw it. And against Portugal, yes, we saw the defensive problem. And now, from there, we played against South Korea. We still had our defensive problem. And going against Uruguay, Suarez came back, telling us that we have a defensive problem. So what was the coach doing? Now let me read this from
as before you read, OTTO is the one that has got himself with 3 strong video analysts.
That's why I said.
And he has technical director. He also has technical advisor in a person of Chris Hutton as the director, and then advisor, and then Bernard Lippe.
We can advise you. Advice never back. Offer since you are the head coach. Against the 5-4-1 that we played against Portugal. You see, Portugal was having a lot of problems to score. It was the handwork of Chris Hutton that has been his style when he was coaching Brighton 5 back. Listen to Amate. This is what Amate is saying. Danny Amate.
So in this game, you talk about Amate. So it means against Portugal, Chris Hutton was the one detecting for.
The lineup came. It was 5-4-1. We're playing 5 back.
So we should. It means the rest of the game we should also put the blame on him.
Good. Relax. I'm coming. 5 back. Portugal find it difficult to score. It's through the penalty
until the 55th minute.
Yes. So first half it was a draw. When we came back, we wanted to attack. And OTTO is a coach who always wants to attack. That's why I said defensively it was OTTO. Now listen to what Amate said here. He said, for me, yes, it was tough because you can see their centre back. That is when we played against Uruguay. You can see their centre back. Everybody comes forward. Uruguay needed one goal to. Oh, hold on.
As he says for it,
yes, I've seen it.
Yes.
Uruguay needed one goal to go through. You can see we defend 4 against 5 or 3 against 2, but we managed to defend. This thing, since the coach Amate is saying this, I suspect that the coach also saw this, because in the first place, if you are, defending against 4 against 5, what are you supposed to do? Bring one man back, making it 5 against 5. So that, we have equal numbers as our defense. But here's the case, the coach didn't see it. Tactically was bankrupt. And we're still defending with the 5 against 4.
This is the word technical term Ghanaian coaches the ones to hear.
That Fabio Gama had the catch and said the coach is not tactically, they are bankrupt. Tactically. It is physical games in one. While you say the Uruguayans are attacking in 5 numbers. Also defense near 4. What are you supposed to do? Bring another defense or let a midfielder join a defense, making it 5. Oceana Shah, make it 6. Saudi Arabia against Argentina, they were playing 6 back, 3 midfield, 2 forward. Just to outnumber the attacks of your opponents in your own half. So if you look at the goals that all the 2 goals that happened, and it was the same player, he used our right back. Why? Because Seydou will always go inside. Nanka yenya DM back so cover that back line for that's right wing so left right back on Seydou. That goal wouldn't have happened.
You are still watching Sports Jets on Sports Jets Online on Facebook, and my name is Bright Jr. You can join us by sharing your views and your thoughts with us, and then we'll read it before we go, and then stop disturbing me. Right, so share your views with us and we'll read before we go. Okay, that is on the lighter side. Lots of things happening at the production. Now let's look at this. One major problem that kept running through. We are even focusing on the World Cup alone. From game 1 against Portugal, like we're talking about, we conceded 2 goals in a very quick manner, like we're talking about defensively. And then against South Korea, a game we held, we started so much well, and then within a space of 2 minutes we conceded 2 goals. And then against Uruguay we started very well as well, and then we ended up by 2 goals,
you see,
to nothing.
That's why before the game all the players
something could have been
South
done.
Korea and then all this, they were saying we have a defensive problem. Now it's about disorganization, it's about communication, it's about you, the coach. What are you seeing with the players? What are you seeing on the pitch? That's the way I say, Sebiu, Songu, Ebekana, Kofogo, but sometimes it's also right. Because as a coach, not tactically, you cannot see what is wrong with your defense, and you keep on giving this same defense, and people are scoring you out. What are you trying to tell us? That's you don't know your work as a coach. Amate is telling us that they were defending 4 against 5.
Okay.
So there's 1 man upper, there's 1 man advantage. We didn't look at that. And nobody on the pitch looked at that. And in fact, as a Ghana team, we were playing 10 against 11. The person who made us play 10 against 11 was the Ayew. The Ayew, I've always said, is a second half player. He's not a starter with the team.
I think these issues. I'm even tired with me discussing. I'm tired discussing the starting game for Ghana. We've said we talk about it severally.
The day is good, though. Nobody is saying he's not good. He's very good, but he's not a first half player. At the age of 32, you cannot play.
At least not now.
You cannot play with the likes of Modric, who is 34. You cannot compete with the likes of Lewandowski, who is 34.
For them,
33.
In fact, they've got
Ronaldo 37. Thiago Silva 38.
They've got quality players around them.
No, see 38. Go and see Thiago Silva performing at the highest level. 34 Modric. Go and see Croatia. 34 the captain of Japan. Go and see their captain. Busquets 34 in the midfield of now 32 to Mbobobia. We are supposed to be a second half player,
I think,
but he doesn't also want to accept to be a second. Now, Asamoah, you let me say this thing. Nam Hontome. See, this is a release from the Ayew after
I know projection will now put it on the screen.
Let me just go around this. After we came out of the game, now he said our final group match result was not what we were looking forward to in the tournament, but unfortunately it ended up this way. I'm very, very proud of all my teammates for putting up a wonderful team spirit on and off the pitch for our country, Ghana. Now listen to this. Personally, this is the Ayew.
Okay.
This is the Ayew talking on. So they knew he was going through this before the start of the tournament. He knew he was going through this, but the man was insensitive. Still came to play for the Black Stars. This is it. He said personally, it has been very difficult moment for me in the past few days. I lost my godson the morning before the Portugal game. And my daughter was also rushed to the hospital after the members.
Relax.
Now, listen.
Yes.
You are telling us that you lost your godson in the morning before the Portugal game. See.
So he wasn't in the right frame of mind.
If the day is listening, he cost us. He shouldn't use. See.
Make your point and then I'll try to counter, because maybe he also thought that yes, he's the captain of the side and he needs to manage issues.
Manage issues. If you want to manage issues, we have a right way of managing issues. We don't have the wrong way to manage issues. If you manage issues the wrong way, you hurt the whole company. You hurt the whole people who are involved in it. Why? Because this is a man telling us that you've lost your godson, who means a lot to you, a morning before a game. So let's say 5 hours to the game, and now your godson is out. What are you supposed to do as a reasonable human being? What are you supposed to do?
But
no, what are you supposed to do as a reasonable human being?
Can you blame DEDE entirely?
I will blame him. Who should I go and blame?
He's the captain.
So what will go on the bench?
Maybe owing out like that would be like Ghanaians will say, I'm coming. Ghanaians will say that, okay, fine, because they are chastising me, because they are criticizing me. They will say that, okay,
listen,
the day is afraid.
Listen, the days are afraid of what?
Okay, so my issue is that he not telling or revealing this. Okay, because until this release, most of Ghanaians didn't know that this is what was really worrying him. That's my point.
No, that means you cause that. See, we are playing a World Cup. This is the highest. See, we should understand this. So, Saudi Arabia, beat Argentina. Do you know what the coach told them? He said, this is the World Cup. Give everything. This is the highest level of football. In football, club football, they don't World Cup. Yan Fru be a nose. Femino, Yan Fru, go and see what he was sad. But I cannot say it. Richarlison, look at how happy he was.
Right. Junior Spike Up Mills on Facebook says, Morat, you are on point. So
now listen, Nipana or no Babebo born 5 hours or in the morning before we play the Portugal game, you've lost someone who is closer to you. What are you supposed to do? That means in the first place, when you hear the news, see, it will happen to everybody. Psychologically, you will never be sound. So what prevents you from opting out or taking some time off and say that, okay, this is what is happening, so I can't play the game. Let me just, take some time off and clear my head. You didn't. You still chose to play the game.
And then play the next game.
And play the next game, play the other next game. And after you lost your penalty, I come to tell us that you lost your godson. Were you the only person on the pitch? Were you the only player we had? Can't you go up for someone to come and play? And then you come, listen to the next excuse you gave. He was telling us that because of that, he lost. I mean, the daughter also collapsed. Who caused the collapse of the daughter? Wasn't it yourself? Was it me? Was it the Black Stars?
After the game, so he only returned to just realize that the daughter got collapsed
who caused the collapse? Was I the one who caused the collapse? Was it the coach?
No, he missed it. So
you missed it and you nearly see. Let me tell you.
So the question, good. So no. So I mean, choose your words carefully. But I mean, I know it has gotten to every Ghanaian. Yes, but I know it has gotten to us just to that level. But you see, it brings us to the question: do we have psychology or psychologists at the Black Stars camp?
The issue is
because these are issues of psychology.
I mean, the whole team, the backroom staff, the coach himself, they all failed us. As you said, I shouldn't blame the devil. Yes, I won't blame him. I will blame him and blame all the technical men as well. If a man is not in the right frame of mind, as a psychologist in the team, are they telling that they don't have one?
That's what I'm asking.
They have.
So what was the
as a psychologist or as a coach?
Or did they insist that she is still?
That's why I said. That's why I'm saying that. So I don't know insistence of the bad, then he himself is insensitive. How can you have something as big like this? You've lost someone who is dear to you, as big as this, and yes, to you heard it. Even at work, it happens. When you are there and you hear news, sometimes, oh, you don't mind hospital. What do you do? You leave the work.
Even your pet. Sometimes
you leave the work. You quickly tell your boss, Charlie, this is what is happening, so I want to go and check up. Your boss will never tell you that. Stay. He will even tell you then hurry up and go and check up on your mom or whoever that is sick. But in your case, you've lost someone psychologically. You know that you will not be sound. Now, what sounds like see, the penalty miss is not an issue for me. Messi has lost 2 in this same workout. And that former it's not easy to score in a penalty. Ronaldo shaved. Penalty. Messi was saying 2. The guy used spoiling the penalty is not my problem, but he shouldn't come and tell us this excuse. I am really sorry for his loss, but he caused it. Now you are telling us that your daughter collapsed. Was that the one who caused it?
Okay.
You are not in your right frame of mind. The best thing you should have done it. I'm not going to, knowing that Uruguay will beef. Number 1. Knowing that
the intensity of the game
is high,
and then it's a penalty too,
and then you are not in your right frame, and knowing that it's the same penalty that cost us in 2010.
But if you could see, if you realize it, the day was in the game a bit. I mean, until the penalty.
The day was not in the game.
Until the no. I mean, I'm talking about even the Uruguay game. I mean, though he wasn't fully into it, or in terms of the real potential of DEDE Ayew. But after the penalty miss, you could see the game. He was just off.
He was off.
He was just off.
The reason why he was off is number 1. You've lost your godson. It is affecting you psychologically.
So compounded with the penalty.
Number 2, penalty 2010 and one of costi. One so about costi. And also about count. Number 3, how Ghanaians were hurt in the first place in 2010, and it has happened again. How are you going to feel? So these are things that were so big for you to even handle. Yeah. It's a penalty number. In the first, penalty. Let's take the penalty aside.
Right.
But why should you go through such a big issue like this and still refuse to clear your head and play? You at the moment, you shouldn't even start a game. You should play second half.
Okay. It's a big issue. It's a big issue. But let's look at. I'm trying to.
I am really sorry for the day I used. To be frank, I'm really sorry for his loss. It's not something that we should be happy about. So it's not something that. But I feel like no. Say adiweya to nasaja to winia. And for so and be on hard guy. Get time to clear yourself.
It's true. But let's look at this let's look at this tangent. Okay, you look at Thomas Partey. I mean, someone will say this, and a lot of people are even talking about it. Partey in Arsenal is a different person with Partey in Ghana. But from AFCON 2019, Partey has done really nothing in terms of the major tournament itself for Ghana.
Let me say this.
I don't want us to be doing blame games or doing these targets, but at least let's pick those key players that we thought they could do something for Ghana.
Ali Muntari in an interview said if Partey should even give 30% or step up with his game, he's going to.
We are good to go.
We are good to go. Like it's going to be a masterclass for him for the Black Stars, an advantage.
Great.
Now, let's look at how Partey plays in the Black Stars, and let's look at how he plays
at Arsenal,
at his club. Let's go to Arsenal. Partey is a deep line playmaker. He sits in front of the 4-back defense in Arsenal. Also in Atletico, that was what he's doing. He picked the ball and started transition. That is Thomas Partey.
And in Arsenal, he moves with the transition. That's why he's able to get goals for Arsenal.
Now listen, this is very tactical. Very, very tactical.
Yeah, so I'm in your area.
Good. So now when it comes to the Black Stars, Partey is not playing as a deep line playmaker. And if you're a deep line playmaker, most of the times you watch your surroundings. Whenever you get the ball, the first thing that you do is that you have someone in mind because you've already scanned.
Good.
You've already scanned whom you are going to, give the
release
ball
the ball to, yes.
That is if you want to build from the back. And that is what is happening every day. So in Arsenal, he looks around the environment, check who is around, who is not around, what is the position of one players before he calls for the ball. So the moment he gets the ball in Arsenal, watch, he doesn't waste time on the ball. Quickly he releases because he has already spotted someone. Sometimes he doesn't even look, when he gets the ball, he doesn't even look at the player because the player is already there. He just gives the pass and starts looking for the next player. But in the Black Stars, we have deep line playmakers in the person of Baba Idusu or Samed. So you don't expect that kind of work coming from Thomas Partey.
So it means we have to define a very clear role for Partey.
And here's the second thing is that in the Black Stars, when we play in the World Cup, Partey was playing, we were playing 2D for that pivot.
Two pivots.
That means Partey should always partner Samed. So he cannot go forward. He cannot transit. And Samed is the one doing all those kind of passes. So Partey is left behind. So you will not get much from Thomas Partey. Number one. Number two, we say that when Partey goes forward, that is when we see much of Partey. But the question is, Partey going forward, there's a man occupying that forward in the person of the Ayew. So where do you want Partey to go? If you want Partey to play very well, take off the Ayew. Then let him go forward.
Okay.
Because as a deep line playmaker, you see what is in front of you. If you are number 10, you will see what is in front of you. So you are able to scan because number 10, you are like, you detect the
number 10 you are to create.
You create and detect the pace, and we know the kind of passes Thomas Partey can give.
Yeah.
He can find the pocket spaces and others. So if it's not there, now don't forget in this World Cup, the one who was playing the number 10 to create spaces, it was the Ayew. But did he even create one space or one chance for our attackers? No. So what was he? A liability in the team. The day is very good when he is in the box.
Yes, that is when he's advancing.
He's very good with his head. But in this game, don't forget we are always sitting back as a country. We were always sitting back. So you will not find the day in the box. When we are attacking is when you see the day in the box. That is when he's very useful. Right? Yes, that was when we were attacking.
Yeah.
That is when you see the usefulness of
against Korea.
The day yes. But here's the case when we are sitting back, the day is not useful to us because anytime, and people should go and watch from Portugal, from South Korea, and to Uruguay. Anytime you are attacking, you will not find the day. He's always at the back because he doesn't have the legs to run.
Okay. Now let's pick this player. I know people are talking about him a lot, but he keeps getting the first seat. Baba Rahman.
Yes, you see, Baba Rahman, his issue has got to do with his defending. Baba Rahman and Trent Arnold,
they are the same.
They are the same.
So the recovery is the issue, but going forward it's productive.
That's why sometimes in football we should understand the reason why we are playing certain positions. It should be your first priority to understand. You are a defender. Yours is to defend. That is why we have your core role. That is why we have attackers, just to attack. So the reason why most of the times I'm bashing Giorgian de Arrascaeta is because you are an attacker, but yes, you are defending.
Maybe the role or what the coach has.
That's why I said if you want someone to defend for you, you have so many left back. Why don't you call Gideon Mensah to come and defend? Because you want to defend. So what is the use of an attacker? If you want to defend, what is the use of an attacker?
But maybe this one depends on the opposition you are facing.
It's not opposition that Gideon Mensah owns me tackle. He's better than Giorgian and you when you are defending. He's better than him. So see, Baba Rahman is very good with his crosses. Yes, and he gave an assist. He's very good with his crossing, but his recovery is poor, just like Trent Arnold.
Liverpool.
Arnold.
Alexander Arnold. But so in this case, like I'm trying to get this. If we want the best, or if we want to score goals, if you want Baba Rahman to join our attack, and we have double pivots in the midfield, if we understand spaces of the game. And Ghana is attacking in a game where Baba Rahman is involved in the attack. If he leaves his position, we expect the DMs or one of the DMs or the back four to turn to a 3-back to cover him.
That's why I said if you have a coach who is a scout, don't expect much from him.
Why?
Because he doesn't understand the rule of the game. How many times do you see our DMs covering the spaces? And I told you in the Uruguay game, we were playing like, that's what Amate was saying. They were defending 4 against 5. 5 attackers, 4. What do you want to do?
Okay.
There's always one man advantage. That's why I said our coaches didn't help us. You've seen that always Baba Rahman have to do the run moving forward. What do you have to do? Use your DM to cover up for them.
Okay.
If you go to Liverpool, the DM Fabinho was always covering up for Trent.
Yes.
So there were no spaces. So anytime Fabinho goes on an injury, there's a problem at their right back because they will use that same space to score you in your wide areas. Now, these people are not doing the work like that. And it would definitely come as a coach instruction.
It means clearly we didn't have the right man on top of his job.
He's a trainer scout.
Okay, now he's
not a coach.
You look at
only they are scouted, talented, and one thing I World Cup with him is our coaches wasted a lot of talent of the Ghanaians.
Okay.
Kamal Suleimana was wasted. Kofi Chile was wasted. Tariq Lamptey was wasted. Efiye Bani was wasted. All these players were wasted because of a certain Jordan Ayew and Ayew.
They got exposure. Now let's look at this one, and then finally we'll be drawing the curtains down. You look at the expectation Ghanaians had when Inaki Williams was being brought on board to join Ghana team in terms of his switch from Spain. I mean, you look at the friendly games we played with him, you look at the 3 games we played at the World Cup, and it's like he didn't even see top like in this World Cup or informal PG. Inaki didn't get anything as a better striker that we see him at the Atletico Madrid. Like at Atletico Bilbao.
Good. Whose fault? Is the coach?
The system or what?
And as a coach in this system nearby.
So now, you see, a while ago we were blaming OTTO. A while ago we were crediting Chris Hughton. Where do we put these two?
Chris Hughton, that was against the Portugal. Chris Hughton is Chris Hughton was defensive backline.
So Chris Hughton was only there for Portugal game.
He wasn't. That's why I said a coach. See, I saw the hand of Chris Hughton against Portugal, but the rest of the game I didn't see it. Because if it was to be Chris Hughton, we know his defensive work. So
why didn't he advise
OTTO?
So you mean when he told him in the Portugal game, he took it?
Portugal also be. That's why second half.
You see, for me, the thing is, for me, I saw that Portugal we considered we cannot play with them in terms of possession.
So what will you do?
So we need to sit back.
So which of the teams did you know that we can play with them?
We knew we could play with Korea.
You knew.
We knew. And we could also play with.
Taking the brilliance of Kudus. Now here's the issue.
So like the thing is, if you want to go on that tangent,
listen, the 5 back, I've seen Chris Wooten as Brighton. The system, no.
Talk about Inaki for me.
Okay. I was talking about
Talk
Inaki.
about
I said
Inaki for me.
the system has got to do with the coach. Because OTTO is a coach who wants to attack. If you watch Inaki from Atletico Bilbao, Inaki plays two top. Atletico Bilbao, they play two top.
And they play him at the wings.
At the wings, from the wings. He comes in to score. That is Inaki Williams. He comes to Ghana and you are playing a one top. What do you expect from him?
Well, you know, he's getting the
In
supplies
the second
too.
place,
And you know that he's getting the supply. He's
Good.
not getting.
Good.
Unlike Asamoah Gyan, where he has Muntari, he has ACNs and Stephen Appiah.
And the question is, who was supposed to give the supply? Who was playing behind Inaki? That's the question.
Did he?
So
Okay.
now, what are we talking about? So who was the liability in the team?
So
I
Inaki is
remember
not a big, he's
we
not a
played-
bad player. Like.
We played against Brazil. Some last minutes, there was this clear chance that they could have passed the ball to Kudus. I have the picture. They could have
He
played the
didn't.
ball to Kudus. And a 2v2. But there was a diagonal line where Kudus was ahead of his defender.
Okay.
And Kubetumi go straight. The only thing was they should give a diagonal pass. Or the ball in the or something.
NSA.
Or the pass in the pandy.
NSA. Okay.
Now listen. Inaki as a number one. Don't forget, Asamoah Gyan has said this thing that as a striker, if you are playing and then your midfielders or your creative midfielders are not passing the ball forward, you get frustrated, and it's true. Obey runs nina runs
You get tired.
All those runs was as a result of having
Someone's
the
decision.
Ayew
Okay.
at the back of our. We played against Switzerland.
Slowing down counter attacks.
Look at what Koficha was doing when we played against Switzerland.
Good.
We got how many goals?
Switzerland, we scored 2.
2.
Yeah.
How did the goals come? So see, that is everything boils down to the coach. Inaki plays from the wings. You've played in all they're fine. Inaki and Mbapampa. You bring in Semenyo also back at the same team because the day was not given any kind of penetrative passes as a creator in the team. He was a liability in the team. Just that he's good in the box.
Enough of the day. I know. Is he? There's a picture moving on and a video like that at the airport. That I don't know whether you saw it. I
don't know
whether you've seen it. Yes. People are mad. But you see, you look at the game itself. I know we'll be drawing the curtain down, but let's look at what the GFA released after the exit, and then we'll come back to talk about the positives that we learned from this World Cup.
We didn't have any positives.
I'm coming. I'll come to you.
I'll
come to you. So projection will help us with the release from the GFA. The GFA release the beating inability, we regret whatever. You know, it happens each and every single tournament. We are sorry, we are that. But a tournament where you exited right after the elimination, the coach of the side comes out to tell the whole world that after this game, after the World Cup, I'm laying down my tools. I'm not going to work with Ghana again. And so major tabloids around the world have taken it. And then the Ghana FA got the opportunity to communicate with Ghanaians. And it was silent in the communique. They said nothing about OTTO resigning. It has been 48 going to 72 hours. Nothing official from the FA. But you've done press conference. I don't understand. Who do we take serious? OTTO or what?
That's why I said, where there is no vision, people perish. OTTO does not stay in Ghana. That's it. So he has the mentality like the Europeans.
Yeah, you see the communique. I mean, put
and
on your screen.
And the communique that you just said, they regret. Who told you that they regret?
They said they regret our. Let me take that paragraph. It says we regret our inability to progress to the knockout phase of the competition and offer our profound apologies to the government, to the people of Ghana, and all stakeholders across the globe. We believe that valuable lessons have been learned from our qualification and participation in the tournament and aim to continue with the positive going into the future. This is
even Wise knows that they are lying.
Why is no football?
He knows that they are lying. Said they regret. Apologize to Ghanaians
and the government.
This is a man who was throwing shades to Ghanaians up and down. This is a guy who was telling that he has appointed a coach who knows the culture and everything in Ghana. So I'm far.
Okay.
This is a coach only ye pan for trainer scout on farm Ghana say fan go work up. What did they regret? And which valuable lessons? You sack Kwesi Appiah. We didn't learn anything. We sacked Sika Akuno. We didn't learn anything. These were 2 top coaches we sacked. Although they were not, at least they got some results for us. And yes, Anka work up if you did that from qualifications. Sike did well. We need to congratulate him and commend him. He did very well. And
he's doing well in his banditry.
Yes,
in Qatar.
Now, Masankofa coach, I know I coached in FIFA for almost 2 years. Masankofa Fanaba. What did you learn?
Yes.
Now, Sankofa Bibi, another coach as a trainer scout. Now, if you want to catch and say you've learned from what?
Okay, so
oh brother,
someone will ask this. We are just coming to the end of the show, but at least for me, okay, let me ask you before I even say mine. We never had any single positive from this World Cup participation.
The only positive is money.
Okay, you remember I think before 14th November, we had a show on Sports Jets. And then we discussed about the budget, you remember? And then in the group stage, we budgeted a little above 8 million, let's say $8.1 million, right? And then we know, and we still know that the group stage will fetch Ghana $9 million. So at least we should have some thousands of dollars as profits.
You got partnership with some car companies.
So we have time to talk about
the Qatar.
Yes.
We benefited with money and partnership. But
That's
players now see.
Okay.
Nobody have learned.
Right. For me, the positive I think I have all through the process of the World Cup is it has given Ghana the chance to scout, like saying, if he was a trainer, I'm coming, relax. At least we've got some additions to the Black Stars. I can confidently say that for the next 10 years or 5 years ahead of us, into the next AFCON, the 2 or 3 times ahead of us, our defense is sorted. You understand?
Do you remember?
So now we have a pool of players that we can.
We've always had. But
we didn't scout them, did we?
We scouted. You scout a player before we call him.
So, but until this World Cup, we didn't have Inaki in our midst. We didn't have Salisu. We didn't have Wolakot.
Okay, fine.
We didn't have a lot.
We were not having Kwesi Appiah. Do you remember him, the striker?
Yes, the fag, yes.
And the coach Kwesi Appiah brought him. Where is he now? Where is he?
He's not playing. So now what do you want to see?
We scouted Joseph Pinso.
So now what do you want to see?
We don't keep players.
So we won't keep them. We won't keep them.
And see, all these players, we should pray.
But that is what the communique is saying in the GFA.
We know them.
Okay.
Yes, they'll
prove you wrong.
These are people who can call a player today. The next day, we will take him out.
You remember the Black Galaxies? We did a show and then when they called the young ones across the nation. And
brother, forget it.
Okay, so
formalities, see this squad. See to me, keep here. We have a very solid squad. This squad could have taken us all the way to the quarterfinals. But Nyamiadom, coach Papa, I'm an number 5. I try the best. Nindia will name no.
And one
the highest of his Nindia,
okay, right.
And Yashi, what try, why we be GFA.
Provide a solution for the GFA.
After this, I don't have any solution.
Then you cannot criticize.
Assembling on my, then you can go.
So provide a solution.
After
you have, as well, fine. After you have said everything, just make one suggestion.
What do you want me to say?
They
won't take it.
So you say it.
So I'll criticize them.
And then say it.
Say what?
Provide your solution.
Oh brother, the only solution is they should keep it, but they will not do it.
They'll keep it. They'll keep the players.
We know them.
No, easy. I mean, here we just say our mind and then try to suggest the best way to do it.
You said they should keep it. So it's a good suggestion.
So they should keep the players.
And they should keep them.
What about coaching?
But they will not.
The coaching.
Okay. So me, to be frank, let me say this. Let me be frank. Black Stars, at the moment, to be sincere, a Juma na me sports panditry. I'm doing sports analyst. My heart is not in the Blasters. Yes, baby, wakuma wono. When I was Japan, they was a day.
We are Japan, they want to come out.
Men coho, na makuma coho, na maba potato aso bubu.
Oh, okay.
Baby, I'm akuma wono. Hey, my future wife.
Any
me nyankopon. Asa. Na mo amudi Blasters e china. I'm not saying don't bring back the love, they bring it. But don't use your heart to bring it.
It's okay. Let's go. Okay.
Wait.
It's okay. No. Don't downgrade it. It's a product. It's a product we are all following.
We keep these people.
Okay.
If you don't keep this squad for the next generation, in fact, we are going to play AFCON, right?
Yes.
We should keep these same players to go and play the AFCON. The day can have second. The day shouldn't be housed anyway because it's experience. So second half, mutum the number or maybe.
We're having a lot of issues.
On him say, and so what issue he should learn from this one.
Okay. Yeah, fancy. But it almost looks like Senegal will also come home, and it's sad. They are losing to 3 goals to England, and they've played almost 90 minutes. Right, Murat, it's been a very extensive one on the Black Stars, and I think this will be the first show after the exit, extensive one of course. Before tomorrow, the other houses also take it. But let's go. I mean, your final words and then.
So my final words to everybody. I mean, in fact, you can follow me on Facebook, Edemorrat, EDEMORRAT. On Twitter, Edemorrat, EDEMORRAT. On Instagram is official Edemorrat. That is EDE official. You know how to spell official anyway. Official anyway. So EDEMORRAT. Just follow me. Let's get interactive. And to the Black Stars, we wish you all the best. But Ayew, I mean, condolence to you and the family of your godson. It's not a good thing to hear, but please, next time if you face difficulties which will affect you, please and please, we are pleading. Don't be a hard guy. Go and clear your head, please. This nearly cost not, we don't hope it happens, but it nearly cost your own daughter. So please do the needful. And everybody who did that watching anyway.
Okay.
Spiker, big ups to you.
All right. So this is SportsJet on SportsJet Online on Facebook. My name is Bright Jr. We came here to do sports and then talk about the Black Stars. It's a product we are all following. We are wishing them all the best. But for this little negative things that the GFA has to rectify is what we are here for. We don't come to criticize and go like that. We just share our mind and then provide solutions in terms of suggestion. If they pick, fine, it will help them. So OTTO will no longer be the coach for the Black Stars. We are waiting for official confirmation from the association. So we look for the way forward. My name is Bryce Jr. and thanks for watching. Until then, be good.